All right, fantastic. Hello, hello, hello. All my YouTubers, my medical coding, insurance students. I have missed y'all a whole lot over the holidays. It's been a long vacation, but okay. So we're going to review uh, and some of the CMS 1500 forms that Dr. Smith has taught to you guys while in my stead, and I appreciate her very much, and you all, and keeping the class going. Thank you so much, Dr. Smith. Okay. All right. So I'm going to turn this around because I'll be coming from this angle of the room. I'm going to bring this over just a bit, just a smidge. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Perfect community college. So this is what we'll be teaching today from this book. And we're going to be talking about chapter. Okay. All right. All right. So that is good that she had y'all working on that. I do want us to revisit in practicum and theory. Chapter let me look at chapter 6 right quick while I'm at it. Yeah, chapter 7 and chapter 6. Oh no, that's procedure code. Y'all don't need that. Chapter 7 and how to chapter 7, chapter 8. I'm still going to go over okay, how to look up a diagnosis code in an ICD-10 book and how to look up a procedure code in a CPT book. So we're going to revisit chapters, I want to say 4, 5, and 6. So you need to learn how to look up diagnosis code. And we know diagnosis, the abbreviation for diagnosis is DX, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so diagnosis, codes, okay. And do you remember by chance what book we used for that? Do you know by chance, have I talked about it with y'all before? Okay, it is medical. It is medical. Not exactly. It's the ICD-10-CM book, written by the WHO Foundation, which is World Health Organization. Okay, this book gives a statistics on various diseases that have been founded over the years and have been updated, and some diseases that have been discovered by physicians. And when they've been discovered by physicians and it's a updated phenomena or new phenomena, it gets reported to the World Health Organization. And we also collect that data by way of CDC. And we know what CDC means. That's the Centers of Disease, Center of Disease, a Center of Diseases. I forgot the correct, but CDC. Okay, now So that's one thing that we're going to revisit. Another thing we're going to revisit is PX. And we know PX is the abbreviation for procedure coding. Mhm. Procedure coding. Yeah, so it's been a while since I taught y'all. Okay, and the book used for that is the CPT book. Okay, and that's written by the American Medical Association. Okay, the American Medical Association are comprised of physicians that sit on the board that put these procedures together in the CPT book. Now, both of these are updated every November 1st of the year. Okay, so once you finish with me, I think this class, you all should be finished with me in August, right? I think in August. No, April. April. You all should be finished with me in April. So that means when you all get ready to work at a physician's office, that physician office should have a 2019 version of the ICD-CM book there. They should purchase it, not you, the employee, the employer, the sole proprietor, the physician, the owner should he should buy it as an investment to his clinic for you all to do your job as billers. Okay. If you choose, now I'm giving you a word of wisdom. If you choose to buy these books range from $100 to $150 a piece. Keep your receipt. And if he or she going to reimburse you, then make sure that they reimburse you for the total cost. What I mean by total cost, including the taxes, not just the $150. It's $150 times whatever the 8.25. Make sure they reimburse you for all of it. Now, now, if they don't, like I told y'all once before, this is what we used to do when I was at Prairie View. I don't have to do this here, but you put your name in a marker. So Anna Gonzalez right here. So they'll know that's your book. Don't say that because anybody can snatch that off and say it's theirs. Anybody can tear that sheet out and say that it's theirs. But if you mark your name, Anna Gonzalez, right here, they can't argue with that, right? All right. So trying to help you safeguard your personal investment. So if you choose to buy that, and let's suppose you say, I don't want to worry about getting reimbursement. It's my property, it's my book. Make sure you put your name on it and make sure that you keep up with that receipt. Even if you have to take a picture of that receipt and have it in your Google picture thingy. You know how you take pictures and it goes in Google history. Okay. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, you save it there. So that way they'll know that that's your stuff. So should you choose to leave and go to another facility to work, your book can go with you because you bought that book. Now, if the doctor reimburse you for that book, even though you pay for it, it belongs with them. You can't take it with you. Okay. All right, just have to put a little caveat right there. Okay, now the American Medical Association. These are physicians that work on the board that create these procedures. Okay, let me give you an example of a diagnosis, like Hodgkin's lymphoma. Okay, this is an example about what I mean. I think it's Skins lymphoma. Okay, this is some sort of white blood cell cancer. It's pretty popular. Not that we want it to be popular, but it's pretty prevalent. Okay, this is, and I hope I spelled it correctly, because you can Google it and it'll correct the spelling. Dr. Hodgkins is the one that discovered the disease, the abnormalities of the cells, of the white blood cells, and how they weren't functioning or metabolizing properly. So when he saw how it wasn't functional or metabolizing properly in the body as its proper defense mechanism, because we know white blood cells has a fight or flight syndrome. Okay, so when you immediately cut yourself, what's your baby's name? Brian. Brian. So Brian, when you like climbing trees, Brian, when you climb trees, no. Do you climb houses? No. Boys. Oh, you do? Uh-huh. So you climb monkey boys. Okay. So let's suppose his knee. Okay. So when you jump down, kind of break your fall, you kind of got on balance when you scrape your knee, right? Okay. So immediately what ends up happening, your skin breaks and it bleeds a little bit. Okay, maybe not gushy bleed, but just a little bit. Let you know, ouch, I hurt myself. Okay, it stings, huh? But mommy wipe it with the tissue, it stings a little bit, right? Yeah. When she puts some betadine or some alcohol on it, it still stings a little bit. Yeah. Okay, because what causes that is white blood cells. Okay, now what that sting is all about, Brian, is that it's fighting off the dirt and germs from getting inside your blood vessels. And it's fighting off the dirt and germs from getting inside your body. So immediately it says, oh no, we've been opened. We have to fight. No, you can't get in here. What? No. Okay? So that's what happens with white blood cells. It's part of the immune system. It's fight or flight. Okay? So, but when Dr. Hodgkins found out, white blood cells have a normal range of where they're supposed to be. I forgot, it's been a while since I knew it, but they have a normal range of what they're supposed to be. If they're too low or if they're too high, then there's something wrong with the functionality of the white blood cells. Okay, so when he saw that, no matter what he did to try to treat it, that white blood cells was not going back to normal. And so in his discovery of the lymphoma cancer, it's a cancer, or the disease itself, he had to figure out, because when you're a physician, you have to know chemistry, you have to understand anatomy and physiology, you have to understand how all that works in order to know what to do to bring this back into normalcy and how to eradicate the cancer. Okay? Because sometimes, believe it or not, every person is born with 1 nano of a length of a cancer cell. All it takes is either heredity, which is genetics, environment, stress, eating, to make that one cancer cell trigger. All of us have it. Okay, some are blessed and it never triggers. Some are less fortunate and it triggers. Okay, that's why we do the BRCA analysis, so we can understand how did it trigger. Was it by hereditary? Was it by diet of what you ate? Is it by environment because you stayed near a lot of constantly stress and you didn't manage it well? Because sometimes that can happen. So when Dr. Hoskins found not so much the cure, but how to neutralize or slow down the cancer development of the Hodgkin's lymphoma, he was then, well, it was way before he discovered how to slow it down. But once he found out the abnormality of that cancer cell, hi Stephanie, how are you? I like your Zydeco hair, girlfriend. You been to New Orleans? No? Oh, okay. All right. That's my husband, Mr. Harper. Say, hey. One of my students. She's from New Orleans. And so when he discovered this abnormality of the cell, he went down into record history of the physician that discovered abnormality of the lymphoma. Find your sheet, baby, and sign it. He went down in the history, so again, he had to go to the patent of libraries, like all inventors and scientists are, physicians or health scientists. He had to go to the patent of Library of Congress. He had documented in there as the physician that discovered this. And thus, that's how the disease was named after him. Dr. Hoskins was the one that discovered that disease. Okay, so when you come across certain diseases that has like a name, it's because that physician or that research physician, because not all physicians treat patients, some of them work in research labs. They just rather deal with research than to work actually hands-on patients. They can do that. Okay, now same thing for this. For this example here. Example, let's say this is, okay, I'll give you a perfect one. The brown hand technique. Oh, I think I spelled that wrong. Technique. Okay. I don't know if y'all remember, and I don't know if you were in Houston very long. Do you remember Dr. Michael Brown? He was the big time physician over the Brown Surgical Hand Center. He would have these commercials on TV with all 5 of his daughters and his wife. And the little girl, the youngest baby, I think she was 2 or 3 years old, she would sit on his lap and she goes, "Daddy's baby girl." Okay, well, he was the one that invented the brown hand technique. Okay, if you Google Dr. Michael Brown, Dr. Michael Brown was put in jail for domestic violence, drugs. Huh?
I didn't dye my hair. I just put tint on it.
Oh, okay, okay. I like it.
I was too lazy. I had done my husband's hair and my friend's hair and her daughter.
Oh, wow. You really had a good time.
I was tired. My neck was hurting.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. But Dr. Michael Brown, if y'all Google him in the computer, you'll find out what I mean. Good doctor, smart, brilliant. He had like 3 or 4 practices. His main practice was in the med center near Herman Park. And once he invented that technique, and he saw the recovery success rate, how the patients healed from it a lot quicker, a lot better. It was a bit more sanitary for patients to handle at home. It made him very popular. And again, as an innovative inventor yet physician, he had to get recorded for his invention of a technique that he did to better do carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay? So CTS means carpal tunnel syndrome. If y'all ever work for an orthopedic doctor, because I used to work for orthopedics, they call it CTS. CTS is known for carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay? You trying to get you no glasses, Stephanie? No. Okay, so I myself have had the Brown technique done on my wrist, on my hand, because my right hand kept going to sleep on me. And it would go numb and it would hurt and it would throb real bad. And sometimes I get cramps up in here. It was just awful pain. I couldn't write. If I held something, my grips would not be as strong. Stuff would fall right through my hands. And that comes from years of, I hate to say it, processing claims, doing medical billing, doing a lot of typing. Yes. So when you all get out there to do the actual work, billing, typing, or medical claims processing, make sure that you get you some ergonomic materials to work with. Ergonomic materials are things that kind of help hold up your wrist while you're typing. You're not just leaning all your strength on your wrist. You putting your wrist on an ergonomic device, and they're like maybe no more than $6 at Office Depot, and you're leaning like that, and it helps rest and massage your wrist at the same time. Unless you'll be like me, get carpal tunnel surgery, and that happened in 2007. And I was a supervisor at that when I worked in claims. So what he did, and I'll show y'all, he not Dr. Brown, Dr. Fiore did my surgery. See right there? That's where they go right in the crease of my wrist. So like when I do like this, you can tell I had surgery, right? Yeah. Can you tell I had surgery? The skin is really cut. If I do like this, you can really tell I had surgery, right? Mm-hmm. Do y'all want to see? You want to be a doctor or nurse someday? Yeah? That's why I had my surgery right there. You see it, Mama? You see it, Papa? That's why I had my surgery right there. Okay, but if I do like this, you think it's just a regular crease of my arm, right? Regular crease of my hands, right? Okay, so when my doctor did my surgery, Dr. Fiore, when he did the surgery, he adopted the brown hand technique. And he bragged how he did a lot of their jargon when you work in my office. I did that procedure in 2 hours and 19 minutes. Oh, I did this less than you. I did it better. It was perfect in her recovery, and I did it in 1 hour and 36 minutes. They get into that. They compete among each other like that. Okay, you'll learn that. Okay, but this is what happened to me, and I love it. I was down at home, I think, for like a week, and I was at work. About another 2 weeks, I had to wear a sling. I had to wear a light bandage type cast to keep from moving it. It was very painful for a week, but after a while, it was great, So, kind of having problems with this one, but I'm a little slow right now because I got a lot of other things I need to do. So I'm not ready yet. So, but this is the Brown technique. So again, let me rehearse. Procedure codes are comprised of procedures that doctors have invented or done. And if their name is on it, the brown hand procedure, he's the one that invented that technique. Okay, right? So let me also emphasize that diagnosis codes tell what is the problem with the patient. What is the problem with the patient? Okay. Procedure code tells what the doctor did, what the doctor did about the patient. Okay. So when we get ready, I'm gonna bring my CPT books and my ICD-10 book and my Hicks Picks book. I'm gonna bring those back to class and have y'all to practice how to look up diagnosis codes, because you're gonna need to know how to do that when you get out there and practice. Sweetie, if you want to take pictures of my lecture with your phone, you can do that. Yeah. You don't have space in your phone? Okay, all righty. I tell you what, use my phone and I'll put it on the picture text. Can my husband do it? Get my husband. It won't let you? Okay, I got it, no worries. Okay, I got you. I'll put it on the text thread. Okay, great. All right. So I'll put it on the text thread later. Okay.
I don't get your test.
The test
The
is.
text.
Oh, okay. 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 All right. Well, I'll still send it. on the thread, and then you just get it when you can, and then whenever you don't, just let me know. All right, very good. All right, so Miss Harper is going to go ahead and erase this. Is that all right, you guys?
Yes.
Okay. Collection and insurance strategies. Ah, that's a favorite job of doing billing. Yay. Who likes talking on the phone? Oh, okay. So you're going to be one of those gorgeous ones that's going to be calling people's homes saying you owe some money. When are you going to make the payment? Right? Okay, all right. You know, you do have some folks that work these collection agencies and they get paid a regular pay, not very much, but they get commission every time they collect or set up a payment plan for you to pay out a little faster, or when they settle out for you to pay your bill, and they say, okay, if you could pay 50%, we'll go ahead and make payment arrangements for you to do 2 of this or 3 of that. And once they get off the phone with you and they locked it in, and they got so many uh, dates on your debit card or on your check, they report it to their supervisor. So if your payment went in this week, they collect it from you this week from your debit card. They get, I think, 10% of whatever that amount is. So if it's $1,500 and 50% of that is $750, and you divide that by 3, I don't know, about 275, then they would get about like uh, I want to say 40 to 50% of that. Mhm. They would get 40 or 50% of 275 each time on their paychecks because they're closing out the account and they're trying to clear the debt. But we'll talk about that. I got a lot to say about that. Okay, so let's go. Do y'all have y'all books? Okay, you have your book, Stephanie? Okay, fantastic. Okay, so let's go to page 323 in your insurance book. And I see that we have a bunch of abbreviations, bunch of key terms. They do have collection practices and rules. You can't call someone's house before 8 a.m., whatever their time zone is. And you can't call past 9 p.m., whatever their time zone is. Okay, so that's one of the collection practices that you have to remember. Okay, so I'm reading on page 323, cash flow cycle. And so it says here the practice of medicine in the United States is both profession and a business. Although the physician decides what type of medicine he or she will practice, it is often the practice administrator who takes over the responsibilities for the business portion of the practice. It is extremely important for a physician and insurance billing specialists to work together to provide all patients with the best medical care and ensure that the physician is paid fairly for services rendered. Today, this process has become increasingly complex. Physician office and billing practices have evolved in barter systems in the days past. Since the Great Depression, the availability of credit and credit cards has become a common feature among the financial marketplace. The word credit comes from the Latin word credere, which means to believe or to trust. This trust is in an individual's business integrity and his or her financial ability to meet the obligations when they become due. For many, the idea of credit has changed, and many simply mean to put off paying today what one can pay for tomorrow. A large percentage of reimbursement to physician offices is generated from third-party payers, which is private insurance, government plans, managed care contracts, and workers' compensation. The physician and the physician administrator responsible for financial affairs and the patient must understand these insurance contracts, which list the following: reimbursement provisions, pre-authorization for services, medical services not covered, portion of the bill for which the patient is responsible, process for reimbursing the office. Okay? Accounts receivable. That's another term that we're going to visit here in chapter 10, which is, we'll bring the camera up just a little bit here. Okay. Accounts receivable. Okay, this is just another title for a collection agent. Okay, now accounts receivable person or personnel, they can work for a medical billing business, they can work for a hospital administration, they can work for a uh, independent physician organization, they can work for an insurance company. Okay, health insurance company is more of what I'm referencing to. Uh, as an accounts receivable personnel. Okay, it's the same thing as a collections agent. Okay, this right here is part of the responsibility of the medical biller. Okay, which is back office work. Okay, now I know you all probably thought, oh, I'm going to do some cute little work. I'm going to sit on the computer and just type, type, type all day long. I don't have to talk to nobody. I don't have to talk to no patients. I don't have to call nobody. Wrong, wrong. Sorry, you're going to have to get on the phone there. That's part of your job. Okay, now, accounts receivable include unpaid balances due to patients and third-party payers for services that have been rendered. Each medical practice has a policy about handling accounts receivable. Okay, now I'm going to write down some medical practice rules. And then put in here some, not all, some medical practice rules. Okay, first and foremost, you have to collect at the time of service. What does that mean, Ms. Harper? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to explain. Collecting at the time of service means what if, and I think this is charged up enough. What if, there you go. Yeah, you can see it now. What if that patient has an HMO insurance or a point of service insurance, and you know that they have a copay? Okay, copay has to be collected before seeing a physician. Okay. Uh, uh, Now, what if patient is fee for service? Fee for service if if service, write this down. Fee for service. Fee for service is cash. Okay, your cash patient in with a cash uh, check, right? Very good. Come in with an MO. What does MO mean? Money order. Mhm. They can do that. Sometimes a person does not have insurance, and they okay with Mr. So so today uh, uh, a new patient or whatever that let's suppose you're for today is $175. That's not including your labs and other things that they may do in the office. So you may want a good three, $400. with you. And then it just let you know on an estimate. Bottom line is make sure you collect for the office visit. Remember, we have to pay what the doctor did. It's part of the procedure. Seeing the patient for 15 minutes is a procedure. What is the procedure? Check your knee, heartbeat. Let me hear you breathe. All those procedures to see how the body is functioning. You say as the patient. Okay. So the bottom line is new patient or she's a new patient. Tell them, make sure that you have $100 does not include any. So they want to tell them, bring you about three years, so $400. Now, some instances and maybe they had a blood draw. Maybe they had a complete blood count. They had a glucose monitor to test the sugar and a lipid count. Okay, so uh, uh, lab procedures, blood draws equal At $275 be. Okay. So, office is they're gonna say, okay, well, I only got $200. Uh, you're telling me total cost is 450. Okay. How would you handle this if, if you were yes, very, very good. Whatever the uh, of whatever they and you okay. So